Desire. Growing Desire Youth Leader Sanath.
Am I audible? Life is a great teacher. There is a lesson in almost everything we do. No matter who tries to teach us the lesson about life, you won't understand it until you go through it on your own. I take this opportunity to share with you all an important life lesson which I have learned back in my childhood days. Respected Toastmasters, fellow youth leaders, and dear parents, a very warm good afternoon to one and all. It was sometime during my second standard. It was a summer vacation. I saw my neighborhood friends riding the bicycle on the road. The more I watched them riding the bicycle, cycling became my sudden desire. As a result, I started pestering my father to buy me a new cycle. He tried hard to resist for 2-3 days, but he succumbed to the pressure created by me. He bought me a new cycle with side wheels on either side for support because I was yet to learn cycling. I was elated to see my new shiny bicycle. Those were one of the happiest and unforgettable days of my life. One could not separate me and my bicycle. Even in the home, I used to sit beside my cycle and enjoyed watching it. I often cleaned it whenever I saw the smallest trace of dirt. My sister warned me that I was going to remove the paint of the cycle in act of over-cleaning it. One evening, I overheard a conversation between my mom and dad. My mom sounded a bit worried. She said my father, "Our son seems to be over-attached with the cycle." My dad replied, "That's obvious, but why are you so worried?" My mom said, "I was not worried until yesterday, but today I saw him speaking with the cycle." Such was my attachment with the cycle. In a nutshell, it seemed as if myself and my cycle were a newlywed couple. Then I started to ride my cycle on the road and started to do show-off in front of my neighbors and friends. My neighborhood friends were senior to me. They had already learned cycling, so they didn't use stuff like side wheels for support, but I did. So they started teasing me that a cycle can have only 2 wheels, but yours having 4. It is not a cycle. Is it a rickshaw? I was demotivated, and for the next 1 week, I didn't went near my cycle. The thing which had been inspirable for me became an object of abhorrence to me. I started losing hope from cycling and my cycle. But my dearest father sensed the situation. He promised to help me. He said, "Son, I will help you in cycling." From that evening, I rode my cycle slowly with my father running along with me, holding the backside of the cycle. On the 3rd evening, after the cycling session, my father said, "You know what, son? Today, for most of the time, I was not holding the backside of the cycle. It was you, the one, who was riding the cycle alone." I was thrilled on hearing his words, and on the next evening, as I was cycling, I was talking about the football match we saw. He was answering me, but in a few minutes, I felt something odd. I felt as if I was the only one who was speaking, and there was no sign of my father. I slowly turned my head back to look at my father, and you know what I see? I saw that my father was some half a kilometer behind me. Then I realized that I rode my father's cycle a bit faster than usual. Due to my excitement, I had put more pressure on the pedal. After realizing that I was riding the cycle alone, I got frightened, lost my balance, and fell down. I got hurt on my hands and my legs. My father helped me to recover. On that day, I learned a very important lesson. Fear. Fear of failure is one of the greatest obstacles to success. I had lost my balance only because of the sense of anxiety and a fear of falling down. Had I had a positive frame of mind and been cool at the situation, I could have easily stopped my cycle. Fear is imaginary. It is an illusion. Fear makes problems bigger than it actually is. So dear friends, with philosopher, Aristotle. He who overcomes fear will be truly free. To conclude, do you all want to know whether I learned cycling successfully and proved my point to my neighbors? Yes, I learned cycling successfully, but unfortunately, I was not able to prove my point to my neighbors. Do you know why?
Why?
Because on the day which I decided to show off, my neighbors vacated their house and shifted to some another city. However, a new family came in, and the boy of the family was not having a cycle, but he was having a wonderful sports bike. I imagined myself riding that wonderful sports bike. On imagining, a new desire slowly started to creep in my mind. And then I slowly turned my head back towards my father. And my father, who was looking at me for most of the time, slowly pretended to look somewhere else. Thank you. Over to you.